What's up YouTube? My name is Andres Restrepo and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This channel is all about real estate, San Francisco, and my experience being a real estate agent here in the city. In today's video, I'll be sharing with you how I live here in the city of San Francisco. I'll give you a tour of my apartment, which I think is pretty cool, so I hope you guys enjoy. If you're liking this type of content, make sure to drop me a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys would like to see next. For those of you that are not aware, or maybe you live under a rock, San Francisco is one of the most expensive cities in the world, especially when it comes to cost of living and prices for rentals. Here in SF, pre-pandemic, the median price for a one-bedroom apartment was $3,700 per month. That's absolutely bonkers. With the pandemic, prices dropped in 2020 to about $2,600. Again, median price for a one-bed. They bottomed out, and now they're back on the up and up. So previously, to get something decent in the city, a studio for a single person or maybe a couple, you'd have to spend anywhere between $2,500 and $3,000 per month to just live like a decent human being that doesn't want to have roommates. I lived with roommates for a period of time. Absolutely hated it. I literally didn't have any roommates up until 25 years old. In my opinion, if you're 30 and you have roommates, you might need to rethink what you're doing. This isn't a knock on anybody. Some people seem to like that lifestyle, but I personally don't. In 2020, I got a job as a leasing agent because I had just bought an investment property and I was out of money. So I needed work. I didn't have a pipeline. I didn't have any buyers or sellers that I was working with at that particular point in time. So I decided to go into property management. Quick tip for all of you real estate agents out there, property management is a really good place to start a career because you'll learn sales, you'll work with folks if you're on the leasing side of things, you'll learn communication skills, and you'll also build up, somewhat of a database from that, right? Because a lot of these folks, depending on what you're renting, they'll typically go on to buy. So I decided to pick out a luxury development, which was brand new, so it was a lease up. 100% new construction, and it had to get filled up essentially from scratch all the way up until full occupancy, which is considered 95%. At the time, I was living with roommates and I was working in the building. My hope was to be able to live in the building at some point in time, but this company did not give any concessions. Like, they're not like other companies that may give you like a third off of your rent. This was not the case. So in this particular building, I started working in February 2020, pre-pandemic. Pandemic hits, and it was just a gradual decline in rents all the way to the point where they dropped here in this particular building, which is very expensive. The cheapest studio dropped to $2,215, and that was exactly the moment that I needed in my life. I hopped on it. I got a really cool studio. I pay market rent, whatever market was at that particular point in time. So that's locked in for the year that I'm here. This place is really great. There's a gym, garden lounge, sky lounge, rooftop terrace. There's even a really cool weekly service where you get a free weekly tidy up. In that tidy up, somebody will come to your apartment and just kind of spiff up the place hotel style, and they'll also go and buy your groceries for you and deliver them for free. I guess that's one of the perks for the people that stayed through the pandemic. A lot of the tech workers that could work remotely left because obviously the cost of living here, is pretty high. A lot of the developers and apartment buildings in the city had to drop the rents to make it appealing for people to want to be here. So we actually saw a lot of folks from the South Bay and the East Bay and the North Bay kind of flock into San Francisco to where before they couldn't afford it. Let's say they're from the Bay Area, they want to get the city feel, and the pandemic actually made the city affordable for a lot of folks. Well, tides turn very quickly. Now, everybody's going to be coming back in the fall, and prices are going to go up, and it's going to be like this never happened. So I was one of the few lucky ones that stuck around, stayed in the trenches. Through that leasing portion that I did, I pretty much worked with the lease up the whole time, but I also did a few sales. I ended up selling close to $3 million in 2020, and I was able to save all of those commissions because I had full-time employment and I was also earning commissions by working as a leasing agent. Those are some of the perks if any of you are considering getting into real estate that you can leverage so you can live nicely, get a cool place, hopefully get a deal, and meet enough people that you can transition into real estate sales full-time which is essentially what I did. Earlier this year, I cut the ties with that company. You know, they were fun to work with for the time being, but I was just getting too busy. I had way too many buyers that were taking up a lot of time, and now I'm ultimately devoting my attention to what I like to do best, which is to sell real estate. So if you're finding this type of content entertaining, if you're enjoying these videos, drop me a like, please comment. I'd love to hear what you guys think of my apartment. And without further ado, I hope you enjoy.